Hello and welcome to Basement Fodder, the only show broadcasting live from the Ohio Toy and Comic Show. I'm Todd.
And I'm the Basement Babe.
Yes. And Dave is sadly on his birthday having to work a 12-hour shift. So let's all feel very, very bad for him and very good for us because we don't have to do it.
Yeah. For once.
Are you having a good time so far?
I am. The people watching is pretty great.
I enjoy people watching. Tiny skirts are hilarious. We've been playing the magical dice game and giving away many a prize. Well, not giving away. They're paying $1 for it, I suppose. But what do you think the most popular prize has been today?
Definitely the How to Train Your Dragon.
No, yeah, there's only one of those left. I had a ton of those before.
6?
I think that there were originally I had like 12 of them, though, so yeah.
Honestly, I think like there's been a better turn with actually just selling the comics that we're using as a prize.
You did good with that too, yeah. We're enjoying the birthday festivities. I was lucky enough to have an awesome tray of cupcakes sitting on the table when I got here this morning with our faces on the little toothpick things.
It's true. Yes. There is a Todd and a Basement Fodder sign and a Dave and a Cthulhu.
Yes, and if you guys look on our Facebook or on the Instagram, you'll see that. We've been having fun.
Yes.
I've been sexually harassing Matt Metzger all day.
And he's been loving every minute of it.
It's not harassment if I welcome it.
He seems to be drawing Lobster Johnson right now. or a Lobster's Johnson, I'm not sure exactly.
I haven't finished your commission yet.
I really wish you could hear what he's saying.
I don't think you can. Yeah.
The banter between these two has been actually pretty hilarious all day.
Yes, if there was some way I could just leave this recording the whole time and then not have to go back and edit it as much, because I know I could leave it recording the whole time.
Oh, the conversation.
But my God, the amount of shit that would be on there.
You'd have to rate it like triple R. It'd be terrible.
Like we could get any more filthy than we already are.
That's true. That's very true.
We spent the last 10 minutes of last week's show talking about 80-pound balls.
That's because
Which did not fit, though. Did not fit with the rest of the episode whatsoever, because we were just talking about comics the entire time.
Well, you guys do that a lot. It's okay.
You haven't been on in a long time.
I haven't?
Yeah.
No?
It's been like forever.
I know. It's been...
Why you hate us?
I don't hate you. You guys record in the middle of the week, and I have to do this adulting thing called work.
Adulting is for squares, man.
Adulting is what allows me to buy nice things.
I like that.
I'm going to do a big pause for the cause to play the magical dice game.
For a very excited
young man. Aaron, come over here. We're recording.
Oh!
You want to say hello?
Hello! Where do I say hello?
Right here is fine.
Hello!
Aaron is the man in charge of the show. Of course, everybody knows that. Are you having fun so far, buddy?
I am having fun. We've had a decent crowd today. I think everyone's been having fun. We're about to do our... What time is it? 2 o'clock? Yeah, our 2 our 2 o'clock drawing. Giving away some more great items.
So what's the over-under on how many tickets you have to pull this time before somebody actually wins?
On average, 11 tickets per item.
Was it that bad the last one?
Yeah.
The last time was the worst.
Yeah, and it's going to get progressively worse as the day goes on because those people who came early are gone. So it's going to get fun. But luckily we've got Matt Metzger over there with Pogues in the industry. He's keeping everything witty and light. So
only loud enough for you to hear that.
Exactly. Only loud enough. We've got a microphone that only goes about 10 feet, so I've learned to yell a little bit into it. But we're rocking and rolling. So
his unmicrophone voice is louder than
I think the turnout's been pretty good so far. It seems a little different from last year, but I think like, ultimately it'll probably end up to be similar numbers.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I checked the numbers and we're about there, so I'm happy. I mean, we'll just get some more people here. We'll have some fun.
So, is Sarah enjoying her tabling over there?
I don't know. I haven't talked to her all day, but she's got people around it all day. So I think she's happy. I don't know. We'll find out.
I do. The Black Canary is probably my favorite one that she does.
It's
besides,
good.
Besides the Baroness.
Yeah.
The Baroness
I know
is awesome.
The Baroness is my favorite, but I know it's a lot of work for her. That costume is not comfortable.
I can imagine because of the armor piece,
But I think that's her favorite costume right now is that Black Canary. So.
Her poster looks really good. Her banner.
Yeah.
Did you just get that done?
Yeah. It was cool. We took a couple of the photos that she had taken when she was down at Dragon Con, and
I think those are the same ones that she just did an interview for me for a website.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, and then used them.
I used those for that too. Yeah.
Yeah, those are her promotional photos, I guess.
I can't wait for that to get published because she did a fantastic job with that.
Awesome. Good. I know. Yeah.
Her answers were fantastic.
Good.
So I can't wait for that. So next year, same time?
I believe so. We're gonna look. Usually we like to compete with New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
So when we look at it, that's probably going to be the plan. Yeah, we've got some neat stuff in store for next year that's going to, hopefully be better than this year. Not that this year was bad, but we want to add some stuff next year and go that route. So.
Will Sean Forney be here?
Unless he goes to New York to better his career again.
Unless there's a garage sale somewhere in the area where he can set up tape. I'm just kidding, buddy. You know I love you.
But, that we
all
lost.
2 feet.
He went up to New York. Oh, he's 3.5 feet tall.
Tops.
I love
Who's that
Sean.
little kid? Sean Forney's table.
But so we got stuff planned for next year, and within the coming weeks we'll let everyone know. And I'm sure Basement Fodder will be here again because we give them cupcakes. So
yes, and we were talking about that earlier. I got a little misty. I have to tell you, I got a little misty.
We love you guys. We love you. You've been with us since the beginning, so we take care of our.
I really wish Dave could have been here today for everything. He was very disappointed that he had to work.
Dave's an asshole, so
he
gets like, I'm too cool for this. I gotta go make real money.
He's got to go work a 12-hour shift, which I'm sure sucks a big old bit.
Yeah.
So.
Just think of the things he can buy with that money for his
more comics.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? It's fine. He has a habit. He supports himself.
So where are you guys going to be next week? Because I'm sure you're going to be somewhere.
Next week we're at the Cincinnati Toy Show in Sharonville Convention Center.
Right.
We're there, I think it's Sunday. Then the week after that we're going to be at Kane County up near Chicago.
Yeah.
So, and then after that, I want to say Piqua-Con.
Oh, Piqua. I've never done that one.
Yeah, and then
we have a friend that lives not too far.
What you want to do is talk to Paul over there at Are You Game. He's the guy who runs it.
Oh, cool.
So,
I have friends in Piqua. So
yeah,
I was like,
yep. We've done that one. He's done it now for a couple of years now. I think we've done it 3 times with him, and it's a fun show. I mean, it's a great fun show. It used to be at the Armory. I don't know if things are changing, but I don't know. Talk to Paul Lee at Are You Game. Look at that, dropping stuff.
Hey, name those drops.
I know. I'll just pick that up off the floor.
Well, I'll let you get back to your meandering because I know you're trying to keep everything in line.
Yeah, it all just falls into place.
Well, thank you, as always, for letting us have the table.
Definitely, man. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
All right. It's always fun to have the guest drop by and give the chit-chats.
It's very true.
We love Aaron and Kenny and Sarah. They're fantastic. Roma is the best dealer ever. And they have always been great to the show. And we always love to hang out and get to spend time with those guys because they're awesome. And they always have great prizes for us, too, on their awesome toys and games and awesomeness.
Yes.
So many toys. There's so many toys in here, guys. I just can't take it.
He's sitting over here like Jones and I see him kind of like doing the heroin scratch.
I am like, oh, I need to freeze. But see, I did get something awesome because my beautiful table mate here, the original Basement Babe, heard me talking about this awesome Silent Bob hat that they had at the Bell Book and Comic booth over there. The Silent Bob Batman hat from Mallrats.
I like your attitude. You're right.
And she got it for me, and I'm very, very happy about it. Now we have to take a little pause for the raffle drawing, the 2 o'clock raffle drawing. But we've got about 2 hours left, and we've been doing pretty good. The dice game has done about as well as it normally does, I would say. Yeah.
It's made a couple kids very, very happy.
Some children and some much older people as well, oddly enough.
Don't be be hating on my return customers. They were very sweet.
Well, it's the same thing. Like every time I walk away, people come to the table. I must be scary or something. Well, I know I am, but
That or they're like, why is that poor girl sitting over there by herself?
oh, we need to go talk to her. She's so
I'm okay
sweet.
with that. That's what I do to people that are sitting by themselves at conventions. I'm like, oh, they haven't had any business all day. I'm gonna go talk to them. And usually I end up getting stuff for it.
Man, there is the fanciest gentleman walking around here.
He's so fancy.
I love people watching. He has the skinniest dude. He's certainly wearing my sister's Jordache, it looks like. He has pink hair.
I don't like it. Don't make fun of him.
I'm not, it's awesome.
You should put rainbow in your beard.
Fuck you.
But come on, or pink for Breast Cancer Month.
Do you want me to start talking about your boyfriend right now? Because I would.
Why are you gonna be like that? Just because you're excited that he looks similar
Why
to
does he
you?
look suspiciously like me?
Coincidence?
Victoria's in love with me.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's unfortunate. No, not that. That. No, that's great. I'm all about that. Just don't tell not Dave.
It could be worse.
Don't tell all of my legions of adoring female fans.
The schmillions.
Schmillion.
Oh gosh, Todd and Dave both have the schmillions.
The millions and millions of the women who love the bearded beasts of the basement. I can't believe I've only eaten one of those cupcakes with my face on it.
It's true. You have two missing, but I think you gave one of them away.
I gave one to Amanda Gilliam, who's here promoting her podcast as well. Looking very adorable in her butt cutter. I mean, in her jean shorts. I'm sorry, Amanda, they're not butt cutters. I was just playing. No, there is one little girl who's running around here who has the shortest freaking skirt I've ever seen. I was like, my God.
I saw, and her panties are purple.
Oh, awesome. I'm sad that I didn't see that.
You were talking to Aaron.
Oh, damn.
You were gesticulating massively with your hands. I happened to look over, and I caught a pretty purple glimpse, and I was like, oh.
That is fantastic. This is why I love you. I'm hoping that by the time when we get back that Dave will have some steam left in him so we can hang out and have at least some cool hangout time.
He better. He, pretty much...
He's threatened you that you have to come and visit.
I told him happy birthday, and he was like, you're coming down to see me tonight, right? And I'm like, well, God.
Coming down to see you in the best possible way. Oh, we have another beautiful woman at the table. No, come. Come on. Say hi. Aaron was already here, so you can say hi too. Do you want to be you, or do you want to be your persona?
I'm going to be my persona.
Yes. We have our good friend Mary Mercenary is cosplaying beautifully as Black Canary today.
Aw, thank you.
And she's tabling for her very first time, isn't it?
Yes.
Are you having fun?
I am. It's slightly unnerving.
I think you're doing wonderfully.
Thank you. I sold a print.
All
I was coming to tell you.
Awesome.
Yes. Was it one of the picture ones, or was it one of the Metzgers?
It was one of the picture ones.
Even better.
Somebody bought a picture of my face. It's kind of new for me. So.
I'll be taking at least one home.
Both?
We'll be taking one home too to put in the basement to do.
Good.
And the horrors that it will witness.
Hey, it's your money. You can do with it what you want.
I'm going to take those little faces from the cupcakes and stick them next to it.
Okay, well, I'm, hello and goodbye. I'm going to step away and let you guys do your thing.
Thank you.
So,
Probably.
We'll see you later. You're fine. She's a real sweetheart, and she's looking fantastic today, as usual.
Yes.
She's a fantastic cosplayer, and I can tell you why that I think that Mary is a wonderful cosplayer, and it's because she looks absolutely beautiful and sexy at the same time, but not in the most possible slutty way or anything like that.
She doesn't
She doesn't do that. She doesn't exploitatively cosplay, and I have so much respect for that. And of course, she's been on the show a few times under her real name. And she also just did a print interview for me, which I mentioned when we were talking to Aaron. that I can't wait to release, but I can't talk about it yet because the website is not up and running yet.
That's right, I can't get it.
So, boo.
He is very, very sad about this.
Yes. Now we're talking about Dave's funny ass, and he better be staying awake for. He's been crashing out like the second that he gets home too.
I would imagine.
I can imagine like after working 12 hours starting at 6:30 in the morning, it's gotta suck.
Especially since he's not necessarily a morning person by any means.
No, not by any stretch of the imagination.
Like, I think the only time I see him get up early is on the weekends if we're doing a con, or if there are, like, zombies attacking, and if that's the case, even then he's like, eh.
Nah.
If they get in the tent, then we'll worry about it. Like,
when do you guys have your next DR thing?
Next weekend. And then at the end of the month, we have Uprise, or Downfall. I can never remember. It's the giant event.
Up, down, circles, who knows?
It's, like, the projected attendance from what I've seen is like 1,500 people. So I'm hella excited. I know he's leaving on Friday, and then I have to work, so I'm going to leave after work on Friday. So they'll get there probably around like 2 o'clock Friday afternoon, and then I'll get there like early Saturday morning. It's all the way in New Jersey, but it'll be so worth it. Like, ugh.
You should find out if you're going to be anywhere near Jay and Silent Bob's secret stash so you can jerk it out.
You should.
Evans comic shop.
You should make a persona and come and play.
I don't work, sucker.
You don't amped guard. There's a difference.
I just don't. I can't do it. I can't.
But could you imagine?
Can't sleep outside, Vicky. You know this.
You can sleep in the car.
I still can't do it.
So, no, see, here's what I'm
Do you know how angry I would be by the end of the weekend? Because I literally could not sleep the entire time. So I would just be the biggest ball of hate.
We don't sleep the entire time. I'm just saying, like, if you just imagine, like, Dave leaves, and then I come pick you up after work, and then we could surprise the piss out of him, and it wouldn't be, like, imaginary shock at all.
I can't do it because I'm going to be in Michigan for the Redford Comic-Con next weekend.
Not next weekend. This is the weekend of Halloween.
Oh, the weekend of Halloween? No, I promised I would at least be in attendance for the Pack Rat Halloween Spectacular. That's going to be super, super awesome. And that I hope by some tiny sliver of a chance that I might get in there with a table, but even if not, Dirk is going to be there, and a bunch of other interesting people too. And they were going to have Deep Roy, who is like the Oompa Loompa in the Charlie the Chocolate Factory, the recent one. But yes, we did, remember? Yes, and he was the same size as Logan.
He is so adorably tiny.
He was ridiculously tiny, but
he's very nice.
He unfortunately had to cancel because of shooting stuff, so I think they're still trying to work out a replacement for it now. But I'm sure whoever it is will be awesome, because Pack Rat is all about getting somebody awesome every time.
Yeah, they are really good about that.
Yes, because they didn't win an Eisner Award for nothing. So I'm definitely looking forward to that one. It should be a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to the Redford show. That's going to be a lot of fun. I wish that you guys could go to one of these Michigan shows with me too, because they're a lot of fun. I got another one November 21st, I believe. So
I'll have to look and see like what I can do.
You haters got real jobs though. Like I can't say anything. I'm like struggling.
Oh, no, you do.
I'm like struggling artist that makes no money, but I could go to cons, so that's great.
You do. You're like, Dr. Victoria.
No, yeah, because that's ridiculous. To have you on a freaking beeper, like, you're not a brain surgeon.
I'm not actually on a beeper.
She's on a beeper, I'm telling you.
I got called into work to come in, and it earned me brownie points, which allowed me to get the weekend after off, so it was worth it. And I missed out on something that was not as epic as it had sounded to be originally.
Not as epic as, boy, that's the understatement of the century.
I'm trying to be nice.
We won't mention what it was, though.
I'm not going
in case anyone who was in charge of it is listening.
Right.
We'll call it Drizzling Shit Con.
Like, going to cons all the time would be amazing, and I do enjoy them, but, like, granted, I'm not taking the same class load that Dave is, but I am in school, and I work anywhere from 40 to 80 hours a week.
Yeah.
It's, like, going to cons and LARP, like, I've missed out on a lot of LARP this year, too, which kills me, because it's a huge part of what I enjoy. And you just gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, adulting does suck. I am lucky that I get to do as many of these things as I have been able to do. And if I if I didn't have a little one and other commitments, I would probably just be on the road all the time because I enjoy this so much.
I can see you doing that, honestly. Like, if it weren't for, the Basement Baby and not Dave.
Yes, well, if circumstances go well and I actually get a book published, they might be missing me a lot because I probably will have to go on the road to promote it.
Fair enough.
So
I still hope it happens. I mean, not
I do
to
too.
be, like, negative towards them. I'm not being that way. But, like, just the fact that you get a book published, like, holy shit.
Yeah, I know.
I had no idea about this. Why you tell me these things until we're on air?
Because I don't like to think about them because they probably won't happen then.
Fair enough. You said nothing.
Yes. Some people are like, expect the best but plan for the worst. I'm like, expect the worst, plan for the worst, be really shocked if the best happens.
That's kind of my outlook all the time, which is terrible.
I'm constantly waiting for that other shoe to drop down and hit me on the fucking head.
Really is so fancy.
So fancy every time I see. So I wish this was one of the video shows. Seriously, I should turn the camera on and do some like panning around. See if we can get Captain Fancy on.
You should do a video show.
Yeah, I thought about doing a video, but we just did a video show a week or two ago. True enough.
And I gotta show off the new mask because my other one broke, and Awesome Todd made me a new one.
You always have to have one. Even though you don't get to be on the show as much as we would want, you're still just as much a part of the show as we are.
Nah, I'm just a fan.
You are our official number 3.
Yeah, really?
You can't see the hugs, but they're happening.
You just made me super happy. I'm just a fan, though.
And we're going to pause and take a rest for a while, and we'll be back a little bit later with more from the Ohio Toy
I'm
Comic
gonna go
Show.
harass this gaming shop thing.
Do it! Well, another Ohio Toy and Comic Show has come and gone. We've got about 15 minutes left, and everybody's packing up their stuff, and I've had a really good time today.
It's been fun. It really
It's been
has.
super awesome. We've been taking all kinds of mass pictures and eating cupcakes with my face on it.
I didn't eat your face. I ate
Oh,
basement
you want
Fodder.
to kiss the face.
I have the pictures to prove it on my book face. I ate the basement Fodder.
We got to do a little interview segment with Amanda Gilliam's podcast
That was fun.
and take some pictures with Mary. And we'll have Mary and Aaron both come on for a minute. That was a lot of fun. And Metzger's no-selling me as usual. Metzger, you want to come over and talk for a minute?
Talk about what?
About D's?
Stuff.
Oh, you're gonna stand?
We're gonna talk about D's.
I don't know a lot about D's.
You don't know about D's?
I know a lot about my own.
So how did your table do today, buddy?
About as good as my D.
But you made two ladies' day.
You made 2 older ladies' day. I tell you what.
I can be nice sometimes.
I was like, that's incredibly sweet, and he's usually such a dick.
I know. I was
They're gonna
hoping
be-
nobody noticed.
They're gonna be blowing the dust off to thinking about you later.
Wow. I wish. It would at least be something. I'll take what I can get. How'd your dice game go?
As well as it usually does. It's about average, $20-$30 somewhere around there. So
Oh shit! You,
paid for lunch and it
if
bought me a
anybody needs it,
figure.
I'm gonna be committing suicide in the bathroom at the Holiday Inn.
We appeal to children, man. You gotta be nicer to the kids, which is hilarious
I'm not
considering
allowed
the
to be within
content.
so many kids. Like it's like
Within so many kids?
Yeah, I can only be within one at a
I'm
time.
not allowed to be
God.
within any kids.
Oh, God. I was going to say put some candy at your table, but never mind.
But if Amanda wants to come back over here, I can be within her.
She might listen to this.
I know, I'm a bastard. I'm just kidding, Amanda. I love you.
I know.
That's the problem.
She already quoted me a $5 price. I'm telling you, several
$5
times. You heard
$5
this.
Alarming.
So tell everybody about your show because I've been telling them about it, but from the horse's mouth, so to speak.
Basically, it's sort of like the podcast How Did This Get Made, honestly. Except for it's only about comic book movies. We watch any film that's been adapted from a comic book, and we basically just go through it sort of scene by scene, talk about what was good about it, what was bad. Usually we just bring up the bad stuff. It's more of a comedy podcast than a film review podcast. But then we, talk about how close it was to the comics, if it was true to the source material.
Have you thought about doing superhero stuff that's like not originally from a comic? comic, like Meteor Man or something like that?
We've talked about if we start running out of stuff, we may broaden the horizon, but
Or the specials, like I recommended?
there's so many terrible superhero or so many comic book adapted movies that are just awful.
Dolph Lundgren Punisher? Come on.
Yeah, my friend Frank has been trying to get us to watch the Archie movie they made.
Oh, the Return to Riverdale?
Yeah.
Riverdale? Yeah. Oh.
So we might be doing things like, there's so many bad ones out there that we can do. We stumbled across a website that has all the old 1940s cereal for Captain Marvel.
Oh.
So
What about the 1970s Captain Marvel TV show? You should make an exception for that because that's brilliant stuff right there.
We're talking about maybe doing just a couple reviews of the TV shows on our mini episodes because nobody listens to them.
There's a pilot that they did in 2000 for an Electra Woman and Dinah Girl reboot
Really?
show that has Marky Post from Night Court in it as Electra Woman. And it was like
crazy.
a gritty, it was like a comedy sort of reboot of the 70s Sid Marty Krofft.
Well, I said we're already going to branch out and do TV movies because I want to do the David Hasselhoff, Nick Fury.
You can't not do that.
Yeah, so there's
What about Generation X? You have to do that.
Oh god, I forgot all about Generation X.
God, it's the worst of the worst.
It is pretty terrible if I recall. So yeah, it's been fun to go back and watch some of the movies. We watched Spider-Man, and I haven't seen that since I don't think I've seen it since it was in theaters.
I actually really liked the Spider-Man episode. That was really great.
Yeah. It was so
And the 89 Batman's my favorite, though.
Yeah, we started strong. We went with the classics. So
The sad thing about 89 Batman is I still love it. I don't care. I love it so much. It has plot holes that you could drive trucks through.
yeah, the plot makes literally no sense. But my friend he had introduced my co-host Ben. He had brought up that we should really tell people that we do love comics because we got some negative comments from that Batman where they were like, "Why are you being such a dick to Batman?" And I'm like, well, I mean, we're just it's supposed to be a comedy podcast,
Right.
So, but yeah, we've been trying to explain on the Hellboy. I precursored everything we said by saying that the creator liked the movie, so whatever I say doesn't matter.
I love that Hellboy movie.
Not a fan of it.
Is the X-Men 2000 the worst one so far? Because I swear
No, the
it's
worst
gotta
one
be.
is Alien vs Predator. It's a terrible movie.
I don't think I listened to that one yet.
That it's barely a movie.
Yes,
it has
that's
nothing
true.
to do with the source material it's based on. It's just terrible.
The only thing I really remember about it is how incredibly tame it was.
Yeah, it's just not a good movie.
Just nothing happening in that movie.
I mean, the sequel they did was slightly better, and that movie was terrible.
Requiem.
So yeah, wasn't really.
I think it's comparable to Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Yeah, those are some of the movies where I'm like, God, I wish we could count those. Eventually, I might try to broaden the horizon to be like, well, like Conan and John Carter. Those are technically based on properties that became.
Don't judge. Kenny, if you want to come over here and talk, you can be on the show too. I'm just saying.
Oh, are you in?
We're recording right now, so you just come on.
You liked John Carter? No. It was a very bad movie.
John Carter was good.
I hate the fact that they call it Judge John Carter because no one knew what the hell the movie was about. This is why it bombed so
yeah,
damn
that's why
hard.
it failed, but it's a good movie.
I'm not a huge fan of the guy who was the lead, but visually it's gorgeous. Yeah.
It's funny though. Aaron's mom was like, "Oh, they're ripping off Star Wars. All right, they're ripping off this. I feel like I've seen this before." And I'm like, "That's because this came along 75
This is an
years."
Edgar Rice
before."
Burroughs story.
I just feel like if they're going to do it, they got to do it right and just go hard on it.
Everything is ripping off something. It's all been done.
It's good. It's a good movie.
It was not a good movie. It's a real bad movie.
What about the Spirit, buddy?
Oh, God, I want to do that.
Is it really fair to rip apart movies that everybody knows are drizzling shits, though? I mean, we do it too. Obviously, we do it too.
Yeah, that's the one thing is.
Gloverella, fuck Gloverella.
Sometimes we're talking about doing some movies. I'm like, this is almost going to be too easy. It's almost more fun just to make fun of the movies that aren't really that easy to make fun of. So I'm worried when we get to later on and we got to do Guardians of the
Fantastic
Galaxy.
Four?
No, Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm like, I love that movie. It'll be really hard for me to make fun of it. But
94 Fantastic Four. That's all I'm saying. And the Justice League TV pilot.
There was a Justice League TV show?
Oh my God, you've never seen this.
You got to start sending me these links.
You can watch the full thing on YouTube, and I will send you the link because it is brilliant. I can tell you one thing about it. Martian Manhunter is played by David Ogden Stiers. If you remember Colonel Winchester from MASH, the fat bald, that's Martian Manhunter. That tells you everything that you need to know about that.
Sounds like it's a great show.
The Green Lantern that they use, they call Guy Gardner. He looks like Hal, has a Guy Gardner vest and Kyle's mask.
Well, yeah,
He is the Mutt Lantern.
we're gonna have to do some of those like TV shows and tear them
That would be a
apart.
great thing for us to team up on because I'd love to hate that right there.
My goal is if we ever talk about Gotham, I'm gonna get Kenny on so the two of us can just talk for 4 hours.
I'm going to talk about how much I
that show.
hate it because it's the worst fucking thing I've ever seen. I'm sorry.
First time I
But
found
get it?
I
She's
really
looking
liked
through
that.
the plants because her
And I
name is
was like-
Poison Ivy.
I was like, that show's good, and I was like,
I was like,
I'm sorry. Have you seen any scene that has Jada Pinkett in it? And you tell me that show's good?
Yeah, they-
Edward, you're so funny with all your rhymes. Your riddles.
It's also clever.
they're like,
You.
Could I sponsor an episode of you guys watching Batman Triple X?
I would watch that. I would watch that. We actually,
I just
Dave,
want to make
Dave and I have been talking about it, and we're gonna introduce a segment doing porn parody reviews. That's one of our
in
things.
on this
That
one,
yes,
though.
we're gonna watch the porn parodies and then review them.
Aaron owns the Justice League one.
This ain't the Avengers and shit.
I think Aaron owns the Justice League one, the Tron one, and the Avatar one, I think.
I saw the
But-
Tron one. That one's
Avatar
disturbing.
the Avatar one has to have a better script than the movie.
It's just all anal.
The Avatar one is actually equally as bad as the real Avatar.
Really? Is it all about Native Americans losing their virginity?
It's
or
about
something?
creepy ass blue people fucking, which is what that movie's
I
about
need,
too.
I
I
need
actually
you to
really
do
like Avatar. Fuck you.
Like it all you want.
All right, I'll ask my friend if he's willing to, if we get paid for it.
I need to know a dollar amount because I'm seriously.
I'll ask you. Need a Kenny exclusive.
We do a double episode where we do the unaired Justice League pilot, which is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life, and the 1994 unreleased Fantastic Four. Boom, one episode.
Oh, we got plans for the Fantastic Four.
The double penetration special.
Double penetration special. Not another origin story. Basement Fodder present
Oh, don't worry.
DP.
Oh my god.
DP.
It could be on your show, Tom. I'll never be back.
Oh, you will too. When we start doing the It Came From Netflix show, I really expect you to be there for that at least once.
At least once I'll show up. You guys all need to quit living so far away, though.
I know.
Where are you at?
Here.
Well, because everybody else is breaking down, we're going to have to quit for now, and we'll finish the rest of the show tonight when we're back at home in the safety and comfort of the basement of doom.
And possibly for Snicket.
Possibly blitzed. But for now,
Hopefully for Snicket.
for now, this is Todd and Vicky signing off from the Ohio Toy and Comic Show.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Well, it's not a drunk show, but it's a show nonetheless. I think at the end of the footage from the Ohio Toy and Comic Show that Vicky intimated that we might try to do a drunk show that night, and I wasn't doing anything but a back of my eyelids program that night. So here's part 2 of the show that we started 2 weeks ago. I'm Todd again.
And I'm Dave. Ha! That's right, bitches. Bet you thought I wanted to be in this show, huh? Ah, I am.
Dave, did you enjoy the birthday cupcakes that we got from our friends at Roma?
Yeah, those were pretty good. I actually ate one.
Yes, and he is not a cake eater
I
either.
don't eat cakes or cupcakes, but it was a nice enough gesture that I felt I had to at least eat one of
You
them.
know what I liked about them though? They weren't very
weren't.
cakey.
Yeah, they
though.
weren't sweet,
The cake itself was not all that sweet, and then the frosting was like a very tasty whipped cream. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like a
It was
sugar
definitely one of
frosting.
those I could eat it and I didn't feel like I was
Yeah.
having like a weird sugary like coma.
Plus, they had our faces on it,
Yeah.
which is always
Wow.
awesome. And we totally saved them too. There's little faces on toothpicks floating all around the basement of doom right now.
Some people might find it disturbing. I find it awesome.
I find it full of much, much awesomeness. You were at work on your first weekend of work when at the time, and I was there with Victoria, and we came back that night and hung out for a while, but I was unable to do anything other than snore that night.
You fuckers were out like
Yeah, and she was too, actually.
Yeah.
Like, we both just conked the fuck out. It was a long day. It was a good day, though. We had a really good time, as usual.
It's all right. I conked the fuck out too
Yeah.
after work. I was just like,
This is the mark of old people birthday that we're...
yeah, all my friends, what are you doing on your birthday? I got done with work. What are you going to do now? Go home and relax. And then do what? Sleep.
Sleep.
Preferably.
You're 31?
Yeah.
And I'm 35, so
Nope.
yeah, we're not spring chickens anymore. Plus, working 3 straight 12-hour days ain't no fucking joke. I don't know how you can
Especially they
handle that.
were really like slow. Like they kept telling me, they're like, oh, the weekend shit's really fast. Well, shit kept breaking down and it was slow. So it was standing around for 12 fucking hours. And I was just like, I hope next time it's faster than this because this sucks.
Yeah.
But it's easy work, so I can do it.
then we had a fine birthday, all things considered. We went out to dinner a few different times. We did the endless shrimp at least once there. That was cool.
I did it twice.
You did it twice. Actually, not Dave fucked me on that deal because while I was gone in Michigan, she went and did it again.
Oh, there's
with Tara, yeah. So while I was off
That dirty hooker.
with the Michiganders and whatnot, Michiganarians, I don't know what the fuck they want to be called.
Steel Pudwhacker.
Hanging out with Jared Blanton and getting blitzed and doing a blitzed show, which I'm sure you guys will enjoy when I post that one next week. That'll be
hilarious.
Actually, you know, when I listen back to it and editing, it's not incoherent or anything like that. It's just kind of like JR is this fast talker, and I'm a kind of a medium range talker. Yeah. But when high, I'm a really slow talker.
Hey, man.
Yeah, and he's like, blah, 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 and I'm like, yeah. Anyway.
That's cool.
That's cool, man.
So you're like Matthew McConaughey from Dazed and Confused.
Yeah. Yes, they do. Nah, we had a good time. Like, the addendum to that night was like waking up afterwards because we got good and toasted and fucking did that show and had some, like, way a lot of McDonald's. And I decided to go back out. Like, I woke up.
More McDonald's.
Yeah, I woke up like 6 hours later after I took a massive hardcore nap. And I have to say, I love the motel that I stay in when I go down there because most motel rooms have shitty, uncomfortable beds that I can't sleep on. And this one, I have no trouble sleeping in this motel at all. Like
that one and the one when we went to Con on the Cop. The weird IKEA.
The weird IKEA dorm room, yeah. I heard Con the Cop was really good this year. One of the guys that I've met not too long ago on here, Clint, who does the Geek Digipod cast, he went down, I think from Maryland to go to it, and I guess he had a blast. So I'm not disappointed that I wasn't there because I had an okay. I didn't
because they fooled me once, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I was gun shy about going again, but I woke up. It was like midnight. And I thought, like, I'm going to get something to eat because I think I'm cursed with, like, food in Michigan because I swear the last time I went, all I ate was McDonald's the entire time because of the circumstances. It just all I could get to was McDonald's. And then this time I had eaten McDonald's again with JR before we got blitzed, or as we were getting blitzed. And I'm like, I'm going to go out and find some food that is not McDonald's.
No.
No, this is not to be.
The least.
It was not to be because I went out. And there was a Walmart down the street from my motel, and I thought, you know, what better thing to do? Of course, you agree with this, is to go tool around a Walmart in the middle of the night because we just fucking love to do that. Yeah. And the Walmart down there was closed from midnight to 6, which like is something that a lot of the Walmarts are doing now, and this makes me very sad.
Well, the Walmart's in Michigan.
Yes, this makes me very sad.
Which, contrary to popular belief, that's not all happening down here.
I hope not, because that would.
I've talked to some Walmart people. They said no, that's something they're doing up there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some of them in the northern Ohio area might be doing it, but it's not going to be.
So I thought, okay, well, I saw a Burger King and I saw a Wendy's, so I went down that way, and both closed.
Yeah.
Closed and closed. I saw 7-Eleven, so I stopped there, and I thought, well, I can find some food to eat there. And so I grabbed a couple bags of chips, and I went and got a Slurpee, and like they had a lot of Slurpee selections. I hadn't been to 7-Eleven in years because they closed all the ones that we have up here. Yeah. But Dirk had suggested that I try the Rock and Rice Slurpee, and so I did, and it was very tasty. So I grabbed one of those, and then I looked at the food, and the food is none of it that I would be daring enough to put in my body without thinking I would die. So I said, fuck that. And I'm looking, and I just said, fuck it, and resigned myself. I went back to the McDonald's and got chicken nuggets that seemed to have been cooked in the Reagan administration because they were so fucking old.
Yeah, oh, God,
they were
shit happens.
Horrible, and I ate all of them.
Like nom-noms.
Yeah, I did. And then I went back in the room and continued my night-long ritual of watching Forensic Files on Headline News, falling asleep, waking up, watching Forensic Files, falling asleep, waking up.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. Until about 5 when I decided I was done sleeping and took a shower and packed up and got the hell out of there and did my 4-hour drive home, stopping at random Walmarts because, you know, that's what I do.
Because they're open.
Because they're open, yeah, so fuck you! But it was a good trip. John puts on a good con, and we had a good time.
That's good.
Yeah, it was a lonely day at the table by myself, but I had JR to keep me company, and you know, I had the Source Point guys across, and Crystal was there somewhere. I'm not sure where. So it was a good show.
Sure.
Why they let us in a church is beyond me. I don't know why it didn't erupt into flames.
Yeah.
The only problem was that, I don't know, like, we talked about this when I came home, but I was having one of those, like, I'm just not feeling it kind of weekends, and, like, I apologize to anybody that didn't get the best me that I usually am at a con, because you see me at shows, I'm usually pretty happy at shows and, like, having fun and stuff like that, but I don't know, it's just one of those where I wasn't feeling it, you know?
Well, you know, I mean, it happens.
I was tired. I was really tired.
It's not to say that some people didn't deserve it.
I was just really tired. You know, it was a long-ass 4.5-hour drive because of detours and shit, and it just, too much for me in one time. So, but, I did my best. I put my mask on twice, and that's as far as I could go.
That's usually more than I want to.
But you were at Dystopia during that time.
Yep,
period,
I was killing some zombies. It had like fucking 30-degree weather. Oh my god. Yeah, and like it was like 60 in the daytime, and then at night it like dropped down to like the 25, 30 degrees and shit like that. I was playing the game of like, will my balls hate me? Will my balls come back? But yeah, it was pretty fun.
A good time to intimidate people who just walk out nuts swinging. It was like, fuck it.
In a banana hammock. Just running around in a fucking booties in a banana hammock, just like, do this. Like, what the fuck is wrong with that guy?
He's crazy.
Those are his balls.
My balls, man.
But yeah. No, it was fun. There was a bunch of new people, which was cool. Got to make some new friends, new players, all kinds of stuff. It was good. I'm definitely looking forward to the big event that is happening Halloween weekend. So that's where
and I'm looking forward to going out to Pack Red for their big Halloween event so I can see all the peeps.
All the peeps.
Dirk's going to be there, and Tom Hutchinson, and many other people that I don't get to see on a regular basis. So
that's good.
Enjoy hanging out with that and not be sitting behind a table for once. So that'll be cool.
Yeah.
We've still got.
I'm sure you'll end up sitting behind Dirk.
Yeah, I'll probably end up sitting there. Yeah, but we've got Stebbins Con on the 2nd, which I've got it. I assume.
Yeah.
We've got Stebbins Con on the 2nd.
Work.
And I haven't 100% decided, but very likely I'll be back in Michigan on November 21st for the second Taylortown show. As John did ask me to come back out, and I can't tell him no. He's just too nice.
Oh yeah.
And Taylortown was a really great show in August, so I would readily do it again and probably stay in the same hotel so I could
like I'm just gonna go back there
and resign myself to not eat a single fucking piece of McDonald's the entire.
You better bring food.
I'm gonna fucking find a way, man, to not eat McDonald's. I don't care if I have to take cans of Beanie Weenies with me. I ain't eat no motherfucking McDonald's in Michigan again.
So what I'm gonna hear at the end of this is another story
all
of McDonald's. All McDonald's. It's like, God damn it, it was all McDonald's. All good.
Crying into a McMuffin or something. This bullshit.
You
know what? It wasn't all McDonald's. I had a bagel at fucking Dunkin' Donuts because when I first drove out there and I got there, I met Crystal for coffee at the more. Well, she drank coffee. I don't fucking drink coffee. But I had a bagel, so technically I did eat somewhere other than McDonald's. Ate one piece of food.
Yeah, you had the what?
A bagel and a Coke.
Yeah, a bagel and a Coke.
But big news this week has been the Star Wars trailer.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about the Star Wars trailer, my friend?
I mean,
you're the Star Warrior amongst us.
Yeah. I liked it. I mean, it was cool. I mean, it's one of those things is like, it's J.J. Abrams, and we've all seen J.J. Abrams trailers, and he does a really good job of showcasing a lot, but also not showcasing anything.
Yeah.
Like,
it tells you absolutely nothing. Shows you a fuck ton of stuff that makes you just speculate for fucking ever until it actually comes out.
And lens flares.
Yeah. And, I mean, I'm excited because it's, it's the original. It's no more fucking bullshit, fucking prequel crap, So, I mean, on that end, I'm excited. But at the other end, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm not letting myself get too worked up for it. I'm not fucking, hyping myself up. I'm going to go see it. It's going to be great. But, yeah, that's where I leave it at. I'm not fucking going, fanatical fucking fan base and shit.
I think that's a healthy attitude to have, especially after some of the stuff I've seen on Facebook today. And I was really kind of disappointed in some of the nerd community after some of the hatred that I saw today. I'm not surprised. It just, I'm surprised at some of the viciousness, but
I'm not.
it disappoints me.
Like, do you realize, like, the moment those tickets went on sale, people started buying whole, like, fucking chunks of them and then reselling them?
Oh, that doesn't shock me in the least.
For, like, $200. No, but, like, my friend was bitching about it because it was friends on her Facebook that was doing it. Like, friends that she's known for years that were doing that shit. And she's like, wow,
it's shitty. It's very
friends
shitty
with you, because she's a diehard, like, Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
And, like... She was just like, I guess we were really never friends. Like, I didn't think, I guess I didn't know you, because that's fucking bullshit. Like,
yeah, it's shitty to do stuff like that.
It is. It's fucking, that's crazy. You know, you're taking something, especially like around Christmas time, like it's coming out and, you know, you're going to fucking do that, because there are people, they're dumbasses, they'll pay it.
Yeah.
Like, especially, you know, if there are no tickets.
I've never understood that, like, the, like, I must see it opening weekend, like, mentality. Like, even if I'm excited about a movie, like, I don't want to fuck with the opening weekend shit, unless I know it's not going to be a movie that people are going to be like, you know.
Well, I mean, that also kind of plays into the, like, antisocial, like, level of stuff.
It's not even that. It's just like I don't care enough about anything to be like I must wait in line to see it. You know,
but
that
I
kind
mean,
of a thing.
It's some people, they have to be the first.
I mean, it's still going to be there whether you go and see it first or not. You know?
Well, I know that.
I guess if you're worried about, like, if you're just one of, like, super worried about spoilers or something, maybe. But
yeah, with today's fucking media shit, like, you basically have to ignore Facebook and everything for, like, until you see it.
Not necessarily a bad idea for some people.
It's difficult, but so, you know, some people want to see it. Like, there's that thrill of seeing something opening night and fucking being, like, caught up in all that. Like, everybody's excited. You're the first people, you know, type shit.
I mean, I've done it a few times with other people and stuff, but it just, I don't know, it doesn't excite me.
Well, I mean, you know,
I just
a lot of people it does, so they get super excited about it, but I mean, it's just shitty.
I'd be just as happy seeing it 2 weeks after it's open than it would be the night that it opened, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, I would prefer to see something opening night if it's something that I'm really excited about. Yeah. If not, then I'm not too worried about going and stuff. Like, I would like to see Star Wars opening night.
Yeah, there's no way.
But I'm not going to, because there's just no fucking way, and I don't feel like dealing with that.
No.
Like,
God, no.
You know, like, shit, when they brought out the original trilogy with the new, like, Lucas spectacular cut, it was like me and my mom were doing something, and it happened to be that night that they were doing fucking opening night, and it was like on a whim we just decided to go see it.
Yeah.
And it was the fucking, you know, that was awesome. People were dressed up, fighting each other with lightsabers and shit. You know, it was great. I'm glad I got to do it. I didn't do it for the other ones, though.
Yeah.
I did it for the very one, and that was cool. I think I did it for Phantom Menace. I went opening for Phantom Menace. Not like opening night, but like opening day or something like that. And then I didn't do it for any of the rest of them. Mm-hmm. And then I probably won't do it for this one, but that's because, like, it's just too much.
It's just too much.
It's just, I don't really... I'll go see it. Like, actually, I would rather right now, like, as much as I love Star Wars, the one I want to go see, like, opening weekend is I want to go see the Witch Hunter movie. Yeah. You know,
I think we saw. Didn't we see Age of Ultron opening weekend?
Yeah,
we did, and I think we saw the first Avengers opening weekend too. But we were smart, and we went on Sunday morning.
Yeah, we went on Sunday.
And there wasn't anybody there.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing to do. Like, if you really have to fucking see it opening weekend, go see it, like, at the butt crack of dawn or some shit.
Yeah, but see, that's opening weekend. Opening night is like...
Yeah, like, I can... it is not anything I need to be a part of. Like, again, it is partially the social anxiety thing, but it's just, like, I don't care enough to fuck with all the bullshit that it entails.
Yeah.
It's just too fucking much, you know, rigmarole and shit, and too many fucking mouth breathers for my taste, and dipshits with lightsabers, and I don't care. Like, And even for something that I'm really into, like, if they made a fucking Dragon Age movie, I wouldn't be there opening night because I don't give a fuck about shit like that.
Oh, I'll tell you how it is then. Because I will. I'll be there fucking opening night and stabbing the motherfucker out of people. Get the fuck out of my way. I need to see this.
I'll be there, like, at the first showing on Sunday, like, being very happy not to be fucking with mouth breathers. Yeah.
And then I will not be able to see you from opening night to that when you get back from the theater.
Well, the thing about it is,
I will be an asshole and I will spoil the fuck out of that whole thing.
The thing about it is like, well, you're an asshole anyway. But there's like there wouldn't be that kind of a thing for a Dragon Age movie, but it doesn't, you know, there wouldn't be near that. There you know, there's only certain movies where people get retarded for. And this Star Wars is definitely fucking one of them.
Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Star Trek.
I didn't see Lord of the Rings. Like, I didn't see Fellowship until after Two Towers was out, and I saw that. Like, and that was a horrible mistake because, man, I could not watch fucking Fellowship after I saw Two Towers. Yeah. You cannot make a comparison with those two. Like,
nope.
Whew. But I don't know. I just don't care enough, I guess. Like, I love my nerdery and like, you know, I get really excited about seeing certain movies and stuff, but not enough to like fight to see it, you know?
Yeah.
Or put up a 10, or like some people are like put up a 10 and shit. I'm like, I'm good.
It's just a level of dedication, you know, that like some fan bases want to go to that level and some people don't, you know. It's not a really big deal. It's just, you know, some people are fucking crazed fanatical about it.
Yeah, I'm just, I guess I'm not.
You're not like one of those.
I'm not a crazy fanboy in that respect. Like,
I wouldn't even say fanboy. It's just,
it's fanboy.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
It is. Come on, dude.
No,
you have to fucking admit that that's some fanboy shit. That's some straight up fanboy shit.
It's a level of dedication. Some people are like,
dedicated. What are you dedicated to? Like, who's
like,
going to be impressed by this? Like, oh, I'm impressed by your dedication.
Like, it's like, it's a dedication. And some people are so into the fucking the thing that they have to, you know, be there, you know, the opening night and be so involved with it. You know, it's just,
you're still just another dude watching a movie. It's not being involved with anything.
I mean, we don't know though. I mean, there's a lot of like community groups and stuff, like Mandalorians, fucking the 501, like a lot of big groups and stuff. The guys that do the like live action lightsaber stuff, like a lot of groups. I know Dystopia, when Mad Max came out, went as full groups dressed up and shit like that. You know, it's just, it's a shine on your little your little corner of your nerdery and stuff. So some people go all out, you know. It's kind of like fanatical football fans and shit like that. They paint their face and do all that stuff. It's just, you know, it's showing pride in your nerdery.
Yeah, I mean, I have pride for all the things that I love, but I just don't give enough of a fuck for that kind of crap.
Well, I know. But like I said, some people do, and they'll go fanatic. Now, sometimes they take it too fucking far, as like verbally berating other people for, you know, sharing their opinions. As far as, you know, like I said, it's a J.J. Abrams movie, so I expect the trailer to not show me really much of what it is and stuff. But when somebody, you know, calls that to light, you know, and fucking the asshole group of any fandom really, you know, wants to jump down their throat. Yeah. You know, that's shitty. I mean,
especially because these people are supposed to be your friends.
Yeah.
You know, it's just kind of fucking ridiculous. Like, you kind of should feel ashamed of yourself for shit like that, to be honest.
Yeah. So people, like I said, it borders on fanatical and zealotful. And
hey, I love to nerd argue as much as the next guy, but I'm not going to sit there and berate someone because they don't like the same thing that I like.
Oh yeah, I know, and that's what I say. It's just like there's that dark side of it, you know. Like there are Star Wars fans that are fucking the bad aspect of it. There are Star Trek fans that are bad aspects.
Yeah,
there are ones
real Star Trek fans. We hate those Star Trek fans.
Oh, and as real Star Wars fans, we hate those.
As you should.
Fucking, you know, it's the ones that the Lord of the Rings fans, where you talk about like the fucking hobbits being the boring part of the fucking thing, and they get fucking violently angry about it. Like, I'm sorry,
incredibly homoerotic they are.
It's like nobody cared about if Sam sucked off Frodo or not. Nobody gives a crap. Like, we all. Oh, I know I did it. I don't care if anybody else did. Moment those things got on DVD, even the extended editions, unless they were all together in a group, if it was just. Well, no, let me rephrase that. If it was Sam and Frodo, I fast-forwarded through all of it. Like, I just fast forwarded through all of it, like except for the spider. That was cool, or the orc stuff. But for the most part, if it wasn't fucking Aragorn, Gimli, and
I'm sorry, like I love
Legolas,
the actors so
or
much.
Merry
Like,
Pippin.
yeah, I love. I'm a huge Sean Astin fan, and I think Elijah Wood is brilliant. But every scene that they're in Fellowship, and well, basically almost
It was
all
like a
of
giant game of gay chicken. Like,
it was a
every
big
scene was
they-
gay chicken.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, they looked like they were just closer. Oh, their lips so close together.
Yeah.
So close. It's just like a half step away from like Sam's fucking mouth wrapped around fucking Frodo's cock. Like, I'm sorry, it's true.
I'll carry this burden for you, Mr. Frodo.
Carry the burden of your hot semen on my face.
Yeah,
you know?
it's like,
fucking come on.
Okay. But it, and I know people that will get fucking vehemently angry about that. I know we were talking earlier, like, point of contention is some people like the Hobbit series, kind of. More, like, you like the Hobbit series more
I
than
will
the
flat
Lord of the
out
Rings.
tell you that as far as pacing goes, and as far as like exciting, like 3 movies that go together well, and like it's exciting from start to finish, and awesome and fucking badass. I'm sorry, the Hobbit movies are more exciting to watch than the Lord of the Rings movies are. Like,
and that, I mean, you know what? That's understandable.
I'm
because
sorry, like Fellowship is basically one of the most boring movies I've ever seen. Like, it's up there. It's fucking up there, man. It's like Gladiator, and a lot of people fucking love Gladiator too.
I like aspects of Gladiator.
I can't watch Gladiator because I can't get through the first fucking hour of the movie. I fall asleep every time. Like, there is a part of the movie that is exciting and cool to watch.
It's the last half.
It's the last half. The first half of the movie is fucking like watching paint dry. I literally fell asleep 6 times. And the same thing happened with Fellowship. Like, I saw Two Towers with a bunch of friends, and I was like, this movie's fucking awesome. I gotta go watch that first one.
And that's the problem. Yeah, like, Fellowship doesn't get good until the actual Fellowship gets together. Like, other than that, it's like, nobody cares. Like, I'm going to pass out. Like, no. And I think, the thing that really kind of bugs me.
Let's walk some more, because we haven't walked enough.
Yeah.
Let's continue walking.
And I think the reason, too, why people like some of the Hobbit movies and stuff is because I think Hobbit, as far as movies go, and I say as far as movies, they did a lot better of a job of really giving equal stuff to all the races. Because, like, Lord of the Rings is very human heavy. You've got, like,
really human heavy,
one dwarf, a couple of elves, like...
Bunch of fucking homoerotic hobbits.
Yeah, it's like,
and a shit ton of humans.
Yeah, and that was the thing. It was like, fuck, dude. Like, you're
Aragorn,
like, hey, you're catching
Boromir,
everything.
Faramir, fucking
Rohan.
like all the fucking kings and this and that and the other. And I'm like, come on, dude.
It's like,
I don't give a shit. Like,
humans fighting Uruk-hai. And it's like, that's cool, because, it is. But at the same time, it's like, you're basically like, Lord of the Rings, you came at the end. Like, it's like starting watching a series like on the last 2 seasons, and then the series finale happens. Like, that's the thing.
I mean, I compare it to The Matrix because it's like, first Matrix movie is awesome, second movie is even better as far as action goes, third movie's fucking terrible. Yeah. And like with Lord of the Rings, it's like the first movie is boring as fuck, the second movie's badass and awesome, and then 75% of the last one is awesome. And there's too many goddamn false finishes, and it just pissed me off.
This is how, in my mind, it is and stuff. Like, I plan on doing this one day. I am going to take the extended challenge, and it's going to be fucking brutal, but I'm going to do it.
I couldn't get through the first movie without the extended shit. Like, I'd blow my fucking brains out, man. Like, how much more walking can they add into this motherfucker? Like,
I'm gonna do it, dude. Full 24 hours of nothing but, like, Hobbit, Lord of the Rings. It's gonna be fucking brutal, but I'm gonna do it. But, like, I would say about 25% of Fellowship, 100% of Two Towers, 75% of Return of the King. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
The last quarter of Fellowship, all of Two Towers, and, like, the first 75% of fucking Return of the King. Because the last 25% is false ending after false ending after false ending.
Off-pissing and off-pissing and off-pissing.
But it's like...
And then gay hobbits jumping on a bed.
Yeah, nobody cares. Nobody cares. And that's the thing, man. Like, fucking... Oh, God, they got... fucking Peter Jackson got shit on hard for fucking Hobbit and stuff. Like, and man, Tolkien's son.
That guy's an asshole.
I don't like Tolkien's son. You all can hate me for this, but
asshole.
I think he's a pretentious fuck. Like, you want to say that Peter Jackson ruined your dad's shit? I was like, dude, how many fucking people picked up your dad's work because of what Peter Jackson did with the first trilogy? Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, you may not like that he took so much leeway with The Hobbit, but Jesus Christ, dude, like, let's look at where Lord of the Rings was before and Lord of the Rings after, and fucking to make like statements like, oh, I'll never let him touch another piece of my dad's work and stuff like that.
You.
And I'd be like, okay, well, that's fine, whatever, you're entitled to that, but like, accept the fact that all those fucking checks that you're sitting on and shit like that, you know, all that money, like a good portion of that was brought on by those fucking movies. So it's like, don't act like, you know, he fucking demeans so much shit. Like, seriously, go fuck yourself.
I'm sorry, like you say, the thing about the humans in the first in the Lord of the Rings and stuff, like the Hobbit is the exact opposite of that. Like, it's all about the races, it's all about elves, it's all about dwarves, all about even hobbits too. Like, even though there's not as many,
there really wasn't that many. There was like a
decent
decent chunk of humanity, but it wasn't like. There wasn't that much. It was just like the people in that town, and that was cool for me. They had their character, their one, you know, awesome character, but for the most part, it let like all the other races shine, like fucking tremendously. Even the bad guys, like orcs and shit, they got fucking awesome.
Yeah, of course, I'm gonna like it more because I'm a dwarf guy, and like
and it was heavy dwarf.
Yeah, and the first three, like I got one fucking dwarf, but like
I mean. You know, look at me. I'm an elf guy, and my favorite elf, you know, dies in the fucking second one. But they brought in a new elf that I happen to really like, and that was Toril. Toril.
And they got a lot of shit for that because she's not a character from the book.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't
give a fuck. If it's a good character, what does it matter?
Yeah, the only thing to me that didn't need was the fucking love triangle. But I mean, as far as like that shit, I can't hold that against the character or anything like that. She was a fucking badass.
Nah, she's fucking
and
awesome.
We all know kind of how I am usually about female characters. So for me to be like, she was my character in that movie was fucking, that's a big statement. She was fucking awesome. And the fucking shape changer. The fucking bear shape changer. That was fucking awesome.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you gotta love something. And that's the thing, too. And you saw more of the birds. You saw all this shit that they fucking didn't have.
I'm just saying, like, Thorin Oakenshield is the greatest thing that ever happened. Like, fucking, dude, he's badass. Like, this is the dwarf I've been waiting to see, and I love Gimli. Like, but fucking Thorin Oakenshield.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like, you know, each nerdum has their fucking diehard Zelda fans and stuff. Like, and that's cool and stuff. But, like, you don't need to fucking.
I remember catching a shit. I mean, like, I catch a shit ton of hate for a lot of stuff as far as this goes. Like, I went out there today and I'm like, yeah, it was a Star Wars trailer. I'm like, yeah, it's a trailer. You know, like that. I'm no more excited about it than I was before, and I'm not gonna be because I'm not a big Star Wars guy. There are a lot of things in Star Wars I like. There's a lot of concepts that I like about it, but I can see the flaws as where the hardcores don't see the flaws. Yeah, you know, they refuse to see the flaws.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like, you know,
I can see it with Trek too. As much as I love Trek, I know when Trek sucks.
Yeah, and you know, with that trailer, there was a lot of like, if you know the mythology and you know you're very avid about like knowing a lot of stuff, there were a lot of clues, there were a lot of new clues that were laid out, but also at the same time, if you don't, it's still kind of it's still very like cryptic. Like, I know one of the things I was reading was an article, it was a very spoilerific article and stuff, but like apparently they thought one of the original characters might be dying based off this one like fucking like tiny minuscule snippet of the fucking trailer, and then they like broke it down scene by scene like in that
dude
thing,
there are people out there right now that are saying that Kylo Ren is actually Luke.
Yeah, I know.
Like, what?
Yeah, I know. It's fucking. There's all kinds of stuff.
There are people going, Luke's not in any of the trailers. I'm like, did you not see the hand on? Isn't that Luke? Like,
well, okay, I know what they're saying. Technically, you do not see.
You don't see his face.
Yeah, you do not see his face at all.
But that scene like in the trailer with the hand on fucking R2-D2, that's got to be Luke.
That's Luke. But it is.
I mean, to me, I just assume he's gone full on Yoda and he's just hiding and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's the thing. Like, a lot of, it's really hard because, like, with the expanded universe, it was very detailed out. And then when what happened, and they basically were like...
You know what? I read a good amount of that shit. It was really good stuff.
Yeah,
a lot of it was really, really good.
It was. It detailed a long chunk of the history and, like, all kinds of stuff. And when they basically decided that they were like, we may use some stuff from it, but we're probably not going to use a lot of it, that really crushed a lot of people because they had, like, a big, fucking in their head of what they thought this was going to go down. And so people are still very scrambling to be like, I don't know what it is.
And this is the same thing with Trek. When you read Trek and stuff, there's a shit ton of Trek novels, and like some of them will say this is canon. Some of them will say this is not canon. Yeah. This is just a story.
And that's the thing too. Like I've seen stuff online where it's like people that love the new Trek get shit on by people who love the old Trek. Like.
I got a lot of shit because I didn't shit on the new Trek. Like, I don't hate it. I see it's very flawed, and but I see it as like it's Elseworlds. Like it's a fucking parallel world.
Yeah, and it's a very parallel timeline, parallel all that stuff, and it's clearly, if you watch both the movies, they constantly are slapping that in your face. Yeah. Like this is not the Trek that this is an alternate, like...
This is a what if. This is a fucking Elseworld story.
It's like we're not fucking your Trek up. We're saying this could have been an alternate Trek. So...
And for Christ's sake, if you're a Trek fan, it happens all the fucking time in Trek. Like, they do this all the time. There's so many fucking split-off universes that happen in Trek, and they deal
Voyager,
with time, time travel. They deal with fucking parallel universes so much. Yes.
Fucking Q is one of the greatest variables in Trek.
There's no reason to get your fucking nerd panties in a bunch about shit like that. And I gotta tell you what... if you want to be really honest about it, J.J. Abrams kind of fucking took a dump on what, like, the spirit of Trek is because he shit and made it kind of into Star Wars, basically. Yeah. You fucks that are getting him for Star Wars, you should be fucking happy because he obviously loves it. Yeah. And he's going to fucking give it its due respect. Yeah. He didn't give a shit about Trek personally until he started doing it, and then he found the respect for it. Or what I might tell you something else, motherfucker. Like, George Lucas loves Star Trek. Mm-hmm. George Lucas will straight up fucking tell you there would be no Star Wars without Star Trek.
Yeah.
He would have never fucking do it. Yeah, he respected Gene Roddenberry more than fucking half of these other motherfuckers out there. He loves Star Trek, and he gives huge amounts of fucking props and respect to Star Trek. So, fuck you. Like, the thing about it is, and even he'll tell you, like, it's not pure science fiction. Of course it's not. It's a fucking fantasy thing.
It's science
fantasy. It's action. It's not the same fucking thing. Yeah. So you're going to go out there and these people that are like, oh, you have to like one or you have to like the other. No, fuck you. You don't, because they're two different fucking things. It's like saying, like, I have to like Mickey Mouse or I have to like Bugs Bunny. It's two fucking different things. Yeah. Like, they're both cartoons, but they're not the same fucking thing.
Yeah. It's just... Like I said, people get diehard about their fandom and stuff, and when light's shown on their small little corner of their nerd world and stuff, some people are good about it. Some people, shine, and some people fucking, it brings out the worst in them. And
me personally, as a fan, I feel like if you love something, like I love Star Trek, and if you love something like Star Trek or Star Wars, then you can find the good in anything associated with it. Even the prequels, you can find good things associated in there. And even...
None of which is Jar Jar Binks.
Very true. But, like, even with
Star Trek and Star Wars came together in their hatred for Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, but this thing is like Trek. There's plenty of Trek out there that, most people would say sucks, and some people say Voyager is terrible. I personally like Voyager quite a bit.
I love Voyager.
Some people say that Enterprise is terrible. I don't agree with that. I like it quite a bit. Like,
now you're talking about Scott Bakula Enterprise. Okay. I've never watched that one.
It all has its place. And you know what? If I'm going to be perfectly honest, the show that I really can't go back and watch a lot is original Trek because it doesn't hold up all that well.
It doesn't. And they had to do so much.
I have a better time watching the Trek movies than I do the original series.
They hold up better.
Because they hold up better. But watching the 60s Trek, it doesn't do much for me. I watched it a lot when I was a kid. But as an adult in 2015, it doesn't hold up.
I like Next Generation because Riker and Worf are badasses. But for me, I would have to say the Dominion War in Deep Space Nine.
This is why I love you, because you are smart enough to understand what the best Trek really is.
Yeah.
Because Jerry and I had this conversation, and even Stone, it came out a good conversation, but we had this conversation. The best Star Trek series from start to finish is Deep Space Nine. And it is because it's the most complete story of all of it.
Oh, yeah.
It's the most complete, logical story that goes from start to finish, and it ties itself and makes complete sense.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what. Now, this is sacrilege to a lot of fucking truckers and Trekkies, but Next Generation, the first season sucks. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's fucking terrible. It doesn't pick up until the back end of season 2. And even Patrick Stewart will tell you, like, and he said in interviews, the first season's terrible. We're not proud of it.
No, their costumes were crap. The fucking
The thing is
really weren't
that,
clear
like,
on where they were going, because they were still kind of like it felt like they were still trying to, like, in some way, shape, or form be like the original Trek, and then they were realizing that wasn't working, and so they were basically like, all right, can that, let's do this.
Look at it logically. Think about Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine had the hardest road to hoe because they don't have a fucking starship. You know, they're not on a starship. They're in a fucking stationary place that is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But they're the ones who developed interpersonal relationships the most.
And there was the least amount of them.
Yes.
That was the thing, too.
They developed the interpersonal relationships the most. They dealt the most with the most species. They fucking dealt the most with the politics, and they successfully sustained a storyline about war for multiple seasons that never failed.
Yeah. I think, that's...
The only down thing about, and I hate to say this because I love him, but the only down thing about Deep Space Nine is Sisko. And I hate to say this because I love him, but Avery Brooks is an overacting motherfucker. He makes William Shatner look subtle.
Yeah.
Jake, my God, man, what are you doing? Get on! I can't believe you peed before you ate your breakfast, man! Like, it's that kind of shit.
He was rough, but you know what? I'll give it to him and stuff. Like, it was what it was. Like I said, I tend to be more Deep Space Nine on the about, like, you know, the later end. Once it started getting a little bit more that way. But for me, I really liked Voyager because, like, I think Voyager, to me, showcased more in essence of what the original was about, because like Next Generation, they talked about all this exploration and stuff like that,
and they did it,
but it was like safe exploration. I think Voyager
when
was
you always got the Federation on your back, it's easy to uphold those principles. But what if you're out in another fucking quadrant where they don't give a shit, and they never heard of the Federation?
Where you're going where no one's gone before.
And you've literally got no backup.
Yeah.
And you have to say, like, do I have the balls to hold up these principles with no fucking support? And then they show what happens when you don't have the balls.
And
they show fucking Ransom's crew when they find him, and they show what happens when you don't have the balls to fucking do it.
They had a fucking female captain that not only everyone outwardly they dealt with was challenging her, but even people that were on her ship were challenging her fucking command. And
she had to integrate a fucking starship crew with a fucking Maquis crew.
Yeah.
You had to integrate terrorists into your fucking crew and make it a cohesive running ship.
And
deal with fucking mutinies. And deal with espionage. And deal with a fucking serial killer, which had never been done on Star Trek before.
And dealt, like, the most in-depth with, like, Borg.
Yes, oh my God.
7 of 9, that storyline was intense because it showed, like, the most as far as, like, the humanization and, like, dehumanization of, you know, people with Borg.
Yeah, and there's some goofy shit on there, but there's goofy shit in all Trek. There's goofy shit in all Star Wars too. There's always going to be goofy shit, but then ultimately, like, I'm sorry, like, the hierarchy of captains for me, like, it goes Picard, Janeway, Kirk, Sisko.
Yeah.
Now, actually, Sisko's dead last because I put Bakula in front of him too, because actually Archer is so much better fucking captain. Like,
I put Riker before Sisko. Riker is a fucking.
I have to give
Riker
so much
is a fucking
shit,
G, dude.
I give so much shit to Sisko, but like Avery Brooks' acting just killed me. But his character-wise, he's very important.
Oh, he's a solid character.
And like the story about him being the emissary and having to deal with the fact that these people of this planet they're trying to protect basically see him as the Messiah.
Yeah.
and having to deal with that and his duty as a Starfleet officer, and like starting with not believing what the fuck they're saying, and then getting to the point where he absolutely 100% believed he was that person and is that person.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's some deep fucking shit.
It was a great
right
storyline. It was just kind of it was hurt a little by his acting sometimes, but it was like, you know what? He did have a solid crew with him. You know, fucking. I'd have to say one of the characters for me that was like really amazing was the Doctor.
Bashir is a fantastic character.
Bashir is a fucking amazing character because, like, in the beginning, he's very much a fucking, like, you know, schmoozy, naive, fucking, like, you know, but by the end of it, man, he is a hardcore motherfucker.
Not only that, but you have some of the best villainry, too. Like, I would say that the villainry in fucking Deep Space Nine rivals the stuff from the original Trek movies.
Yeah.
Like, the original Trek movies have some of the best villains ever.
Oh, yeah.
But look at Dukat. Like, Dukat as a villain, as a constant bad guy that you never are not dealing with. And he's for the whole fucking series. It's not like it backs off at any point. Yeah, he's an ally here and there. But no, he's never really your ally.
See, and that's the thing. Because it's like everybody's always about Klingons and stuff like that. And I like
Cardassians
Klingons.
Are fucked up.
Yeah, that's the thing. I like Klingons. They're cool. But they are also like... They're kind of predictable to a certain degree. You know what buttons you can push with a fucking, you know, a Klingon. Cardassians, though, are fucking like... Yeah,
and then you get into the shit with the Dominion War, and like you're facing something that you've never faced before. You're facing species you know nothing about.
Yeah, that are uniting against you.
Yeah, that are infiltrating you with shapeshifters, and that are fucking united against you, and they're replacing people in your fucking
hierarchy. They have a whole fucking race of, like, just fighter... species that are designed to destroy you.
No, the Jupiter are fascinating.
And I think that was a really good one with Worf, too. You know, that showcased a really interesting...
Yeah, and then you go to the point where you take a character that's established a Next Generation, and then when that ends, you integrate him into the show, and it's done seamlessly. It doesn't seem like it's an add-on. It makes complete and total sense, and, like, he adds something to the show.
It was the same way with, what's-his-face, O'Brien.
Yeah, O'Brien. No, you take a very tertiary character from the original series and make him a main character.
Yeah, very front and his wife.
Yeah, and you know, of course, it's the acting is just fantastic. I mean, I love O'Brien as a character, and
Jadzia Dax.
And then the Trill story. Like, the Trill is a very small thing that happened in Next Generation, and then they really make it a forefront thing. You know, and then the dealing with the Bajoran, you know, restoration, and after, you know, the occupation, and trying to rebuild a society, and dealing with the politics of that. Like, it's very political.
Ferengi.
Of all of the Trek, I'd say DS9 is the most political, too.
Yeah.
Like,
because that's the thing. It was more ongoing. Like, Next Generation was cool, as in you got to see a lot of stuff, but it was all contained in that single episode.
Yeah, it's all 1 and 2 episodes. Like, 1 and 2 episodes. 1 and 2.
You might get a continuation.
You may get a 2. You may get a 3 if you're really lucky. But with Deep Space Nine, it's all one fucking story.
Yeah.
There's different aspects, and there's subplots, and this, that, and the other, but it's all one fucking contained story.
Everything, Next Generation, everything was contained. There was a chain of command. It was like, if stuff was happening with Picard, it was the ship. If stuff was happening with Riker, Picard was like, it would almost seem like it would go down the line, and they would find like kind of stuff for the other characters to be doing, and they would focus hard in on this one thing. Or sometimes and I wasn't saying it was always the greatest, they would run 2 storylines that, you know, sometimes would mesh, most of the time wouldn't, but, you know, it was still really good. But, like, Deep Space Nine ran multiple different stories.
And they didn't leave hanging threads, and they didn't, like, introduce shit and then never talk about it again, which, as much as I love Next Generation, they did a lot.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that I liked about Voyager, is that they came after Deep Space Nine and were able to pick up that and, like, you know, use that ability to run multiple storylines, and it was just great. Not to mention they have one of the best ships on Deep Space Nine ever.
Yeah, well, Voyager's an awesome ship too, but
Voyager's an awesome ship, but if I wanted a smaller, more compact, ass-kicking ship,
the Defiant is one of the best Trek ships ever.
And it's just awesome shaped. It was just one of the best ones. I always said it would be cool to see Riker with that thing.
Well, you got to see Thomas Riker with it at least once, so that was pretty awesome. But I can talk about Trek all day. But the point is, like, love your nerdery, man. Love it hard, but don't fucking shit on everybody else's opinion.
But don't fucking jam it down somebody else's fucking throat.
There's nothing wrong with arguing about nerd shit, because we all do it. But don't, like, fucking get hate on somebody because they don't like the same thing that you like. You know, come on, man. Like, I can accept... I don't hate you because you love Star Wars. You don't hate me because I love Star Trek. It's like... Fucking, there's a place for everything, man. Yeah. Like, I hate to sound like a fucking hippie, but like, chill out, man. There's a place for everything. Come on, like, give this, fucking man. Peace a chance, you know.
We could do this. But it is. It's just, it's shitty when they like fucking start crapping on each other and then they'll like turn on each other and start doing that shit. It's like, you know, Star Wars, Star Trek, DC, Marvel, fucking, you know, we got all that stuff. You're gonna love what you're gonna love, but like, fuck, dude.
Yeah, I can't stand these people who are like, oh, I only read DC, I'll never read Marvel comics, or I only read Marvel, I would never read DC, or I only read Independence, I would never read the big two. Why the fuck not? If it's a good story, why the fuck wouldn't you read it?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm more predominantly DC, but I've noticed as of late with the change up and stuff like that, I've fluctuated more back towards Marvel. And that's not saying I don't still love DC. It's just right now I don't like the choices that, like, the storylines are still good. It's more the behind the scenes stuff.
I feel the same way. Like, you know, I'm predominantly a DC guy, but in the last few years, I've read mostly independent comics.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But that doesn't mean that there's DC books that I'm going to buy. I bought several DC books this past weekend.
Oh, yeah. It's just, there's always going to be fluctuations and stuff like that. You got to be flexible and, you know, you got to be a little bit more understanding. I guess the main message is just like, you know, love what you love, that's fine, but don't hate somebody because they don't love it the same way you do. Like... You know, everyone has their own interpretation. Everyone has their own opinions on it and stuff like that. And you can debate. Oh, God. Me and Todd fucking argue and debate
constantly.
About
God, we'll have like fucking hour-long arguments about shit. About the shit we both love.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, we end the conversation and we're not like, we fucking, like, you know, hate each other, like, fuck you, I don't want to talk to you no more and stuff like that. Like,
okay, like, sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, all right, let's just stop talking about it because it's not going to end well.
Yeah.
But we're smart enough to know that we shouldn't talk about it anymore.
But it's like, we can do that. If you can't do that, then you have no business.
Yeah, you shouldn't shut the fuck up.
Then you should never bring it up. If you can't allow for any opposing viewpoints and stuff like that, then you should never bring up your viewpoint because it's just.
And you should also, if you go too far, you should be big enough to say that you went too far.
Yeah.
The other night, you and I had an argument about what the definition of a superhero is, and I'm going to be honest. In that argument, I got a little bit over pissy.
Oh, I know.
And I apologize for that because, like. You're right and I'm right. Like, neither one of us are wrong about it.
I mean, yeah, in a clear, like, technical definition and stuff like that, superheroes are, by definition, based around superpowers. In my viewpoint, I feel that a powers is not necessarily the most defining characteristic of a superhero. But it is that is a heavily contention point.
Yeah.
It is one of those things where it's like, you know, people like Batman, but is Batman technically considered a superhero? Some people say yes, some people say no because of the lack of powers. Is Tony Stark a superhero? He has a suit, like a technological suit, but does that grant him any power, like, you know, type of thing? It's here and there.
It's all semantics.
Yeah, it's semantics, but it is, you know, something that can be debated multiple ways, and they're fun. They're fun to debate. It's just when it stops being fun and it starts getting hateful, you know, especially between, like, it's bad when it's strangers, but it's worse when it's like people that you know, and like when they take it to that level, it's like, okay, we should stop.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Dave and I are best friends, but I'm going to tell you there are certain subjects that we don't talk about and we shouldn't talk about because we're not ever going to, you know, it's like, I say this many times, it's like, you're not going to convince me and I'm not going to convince you, so let's just fucking stop. You know?
I know what your viewpoint is. You know what mine is. We agree to disagree, and that we leave it at that. You know, we're always finding these issues. We'll argue about things, and then we'll be like, oh, okay, and then we'll argue about them again. And then, like, you know, we might even go argue about them a third time, but then eventually we'll figure out, okay, this is a subject, we should probably just leave it at that.
It doesn't affect the fact that we're friends. Like, it doesn't affect our you know, friendship with each other or love for each other or whatever, and it shouldn't.
Yeah. I'm not going to, like, jump down your throat like, oh, you fucking trucker. Yeah. He's not going to be like, you Star Wars douchebag and stuff like that. You know, there are things about each one that we see faults in, but I think it's also it's a personal taste thing, you know.
Yep.
For you, it's more exploration and that utopian style thing. For me, I like Star Wars because of that rebellious like fight to, you know, get one over on the oppressor.
It's about what you like in your space stuff too. It's like I like that kind of brighter sort of vision of the future where like technology is, you know, the thing that brings people together and whatnot. And then with Star Wars, it's like it's not that. It's like, first of all, it's not the future.
Yeah.
Second of all, like technology is not it's not what it's about. Like there is technology there. There's lightsabers and cool gadgetry and stuff like that, but that's not the driving force of it. Like those are just MacGuffin. Like it's just that's the things that there are.
Yeah.
You know, but when it's Star Trek, it's like that is the driving force. The technology is the thing that
it's like the technology and the politics.
Yes.
Whereas like
Star Wars is very politicky too.
Yeah, Star Wars is very politic, but it's like less diplomatic and more revolutionary, like that type of thing. Like it's very, you know, like third
Don't call
world.
it Star Wars, you know.
for nothing.
For nothing.
It's like, you know, it's very much, you know, third world revolutionary style stuff, you know.
It's like when you break down Star Wars, it's like Arthurian stuff. Like it has more in common with, you know, the Knights of the Round Table than it does with Star Trek. Because it's more about that. It's more about that kind of the kingdom struggle against the oppressor and thing like that.
Samurai,
but when Star Trek is more about like paralleling what's going on in modern society by using science fiction.
Yep.
You know, so there's a place for all of it. It's just like comics.
It's just crazy when you see people like it's interesting when like people will be completely fine with each other, and then it's like, you know, like religion and politics. You hit on those one things, and then it's like you wouldn't expect certain people the dynamic to change so much, and it does, and it's like wow.
And that's another thing. It's like Star Trek is science, and Star Wars is religion. Like it's more about religion, and it's more about, you know, politics in that
spirituality
way.
And like
spirituality. And Star Trek is more about science and the nature of advancement, you know. So there's a place for all of it. You know, if you're a Marvel fan, that's great, that's awesome. Marvel's got so much to offer. If you're a DC fan, so much to offer. If you love independent comics, there's so fucking much to offer.
If you like third party, because it's like that's the thing. Like for me, I say when people say independent, I think something completely different when like there's like, to me there's third party and there's independent. Independent is the struggling artist, you know, doing his thing at the con, you know, doing that. Me, third party is like Dark Horse and like Dynamite and stuff.
Well, there's like
I
think it was either Victor or Michael Watson when on the Todd Files when we talked about it. There's indie with a Y and indie with an IE. It's like the indie with the, you know, the Y is, you know, the very indie shit, like the super like you made it yourself, and then there's the indie with the IE, which is like Image is even that. It started as being that.
It's
Image,
not the big two. Anything
Dark
that's
Horse,
not the big two.
Yeah, anything that's not the big two. But then, you know, there's a difference, but they're all valid. It's all valid, even down to that weird stapled shit that no one really likes all that much. You know, there's still a place for that stuff.
But I guess it's just one of those, like, you know. For being supposed open-minded nerds and stuff like that, it's that window will shut so quick. That door will slam in your face quicker than shit. And it's like...
Yeah, I mean, there's guys that, you know, right now, it's like... We have friends that like Gotham, and I think it's the worst thing that ever happened to fucking, you know, comic-related television. And there's guys that, I mean, you know, Matt Metzger's a good friend of ours. Yeah. He loves The Dark Knight. We both fucking hate it. With a vehement passion, because it's the drizzling shit.
Okay, I can't watch Gotham because there's too many fucking like things that just fucking twerk my shit.
5
like
shows about how much I hate Gotham.
Yeah, but it's just like I accept that people like it, and I was like, hey, that's cool that you like it. I can't get into it because I know too much about the source material, and it fucks my mind up. I just can't, like, my brain cannot. It's just like red alert. This is wrong. But you know what? Some people.
But hey, man, if it's something that gets you in the door, whatever, do it. Then go find out what the real mythos is. Like, you know,
I get that, dude. There are people that will jump my shit because I love Birds of Prey, and they're like, "That's not even remotely right." I'm like, you know what? It's not. But I don't care because I thought it was an awesome show.
Yep.
I think had it been done around now and stuff like that, it would have been fucking way more popular.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know?
I mean, like, Smallville was the thing. For the longest time, I wouldn't watch Smallville because I was like, no, fuck you, it's non-continuity, I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
But once I got over myself as a nerd, and I sat down and I watched it, I found that it has a ton of merit.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a fucking awesome show.
And it's inventive. That's the other thing, too, man. It got really inventive on that
It's just like looking, again, like me as a big reader, like, it goes down to like, I like Stephen King novels, and they'll make Stephen King novels into movies and TV shows, and often one is not like the other in the least.
Oh, God, no.
But I
That's
can
probably
still
one of the most
appreciate
interpretational things I've ever seen.
Yeah, but I can still appreciate both of them. I can like Thinner. Like I love Thinner as a novel. It's a fun novel. It's very dark. It's extremely dark, and there's no redeemable characters in this book. And then the movie is very different. Yeah. Still no redeemable characters, but like it's a very different thing. There are some that and there are some that you're not going to be able to do this with. There are certain things that is so important to you as a fan that you're not going to be able to separate it. Yeah. There are certain things that and this is where this stuff comes to, where it's just like it means so much to you that when you see it, it just hurts your soul.
People with The Hobbit, people with fucking Star Wars, Star Trek.
I mean, even though I'm not a huge Batman fan, I know enough about Batman to hate The Dark Knight for a reason, because it's just not Batman.
Yeah, it's just one of those no.
I can appreciate parts of it. I can appreciate performances that go into it, the Heath Ledger thing. This has come up 1,000 times in arguments between us and other fans and stuff. Like, the performance is very good. He's an excellent performance. Is it the Joker? No. It's not.
And to me, it's like...
it's more anarchy than it is the Joker.
It is more anarchy, but it's also... There is a small Batman comic thing that happened where there was a Joker like this. And it's like, okay, I see where you're going. You were doing something like that. That's fine.
Yeah.
But, for me, that series, that trilogy progressively got more and more away from where I could watch it. Yeah. Batman Begins, awesome.
Great movie.
Second one, good casting choices, bad casting choices, good performances, bad performances. Third one,
unwatchable.
Unfucking watchable for me.
Completely unwatchable.
And you know what? I hate to say it, but progressively as it went, Christian Bale became the worst part of that trilogy for me. It was, because he pulled a Wesley Snipes.
He's the worst Batman.
He pulled a Wesley.
He's worse than Adam West. And I love Adam West, but he's worse than Adam West.
I would say it's hard. He rivals George Clooney. But
he's got more time doing it.
Yeah, he's got more time. So it's like if you look at time, he's probably the worst. But it's like as just sheer him and Clooney could rival each other. But it's like it's just. He pulled Wesley Snipes. He got too into the role, and it was like that was the role. And it's like I couldn't care.
That's the thing about Blade. You bring up Wesley Snipes, and I have to say this about Blade. I like the Blade movies. Blade is a character in the comics I've never given a fuck about. Can't give a fuck about. He's a terrible character in the comics. He basically is an also run. Yeah. He's a D-lister at best, but in the movies they made him really cool. That can happen in
and that's the thing, because when you take out all the rest of the superheroes and it's just man and vampires, then Blade becomes a badass.
Yeah.
But when you put him in a world where it's like there's Morbius, the living vampire, Spider-Man, the entire fucking Marvel lineup.
Yeah. You don't really need him.
It's like, okay, he's cool, but, I mean, for me, the thing I liked in the third one was they brought in Hannibal King. Yeah. Hannibal King is awesome. So
I can tell you what, as much as I hate Deadpool, and I do, I hate what they've turned Deadpool into. Will I go see the Ryan Reynolds Deadpool movie? Yeah, yes. Absolutely will, because I like Ryan Reynolds and it looks funny.
And he gives it his all when he performs these characters.
It's just like you can hate something and then still appreciate when it's good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure, I don't know what it would be.
Wolverine Origins.
Oh, God, it's terrible.
It's terrible, but man, Liev Schreiber's fucking Sabretooth was the best.
Absolutely excellent.
The best.
It's like, I'm sure there's parts of Gotham that are well done. The episodes I saw, there was some decent acting in there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still, on the whole, awful. You know what I mean?
It's just... It's like when you've been programmed storyline-wise for so long, and then you get this, where it's like... And it's not that, storyline... It's just fucked up, where it's just... your mind starts doing math. And you're like, things don't add up. I can't deal with this.
By the time he's Batman, these guys will be 60.
Yeah, it's
it
like
doesn't fucking make sense.
Yeah, huh? What? Huh?
And from what I understand, he's like training now.
Yeah, he is.
And I'm like, he's 14.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. And there's already 2 characters in there that are dead. That are pretty main bad guys, even by animated Batman standards. Pretty main guys that are gone.
Yeah, and then also it's just like it's too much too fast on some of it too. It's like, oh, she's Catwoman because she's creeping around and catty and all that. Oh, look, it's Poison Ivy because she's playing with plants and shit and she's 6. Like, who gives a shit, man? Come on. Like, it's like, oh, look at this and look at that. Oh, look, we're sticking these things in there, but you don't need to do that. It's too much too fast. You know,
you just slap it in the face like Gordon's already like cleaning up the division.
And then there's Fish Mooney.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
Fish.
one of the worst acting performances I've ever seen. I'd rather watch fucking the 3rd Dark Knight movie than watch one scene of Jada Pinkett. Like, I'm sorry. But I don't know. We're going off into hell here. Yeah. But, like, in closing, I just have to say, like, dude, love your nerdery and love it hard and defend it or whatever, but don't be an asshole. You know? I mean, I'm sure you agree. Like, just... Oh, yeah. Love it and fucking defend it, all that. Have a spirited debate about it, but don't be a fucking asshole. Don't attack, your friends. Don't attack your fellow nerds.
Don't be that guy in the back row that when they're talking about Man of Steel and all that, Dark Knight is just.
Yeah, that guy. Boy, I tell you what, he wouldn't have killed me.
Oh God. No. I'd have fucking danced a jig of how bad that movie sucked.
No, I didn't give a solitary fuck. I talked about it openly.
Oh, I know. I'd have fucking pokey, talked, fucking jib-jibbed and all that shit.
And that's the thing. I'll also say this. Never fucking be afraid to call a shit.
Yeah.
Just because everybody else likes something, don't be afraid to criticize it because someone needs to.
Yeah. I mean
I'm a critic by nature.
Accept it. Accept that, the fandom is rough, and you're gonna catch flack like there's no fucking tomorrow. But if you can accept that, then by all means, fucking, be able to say your fucking piece.
There's nothing wrong with having an unpopular opinion. I've got a lot of them. Yeah. Don't even get back into the Crow because we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with having an unpopular opinion. If you've got an argument to back it up, by God, I'd like to hear it. If you've got an argument why Gotham is so great, please, God, tell me about it. I'm not going to agree with you, but please tell me about it.
You're snoring halfway through. Yeah. But I mean, hey, it's okay. It's all amazing. Oh, I'm sorry, what?
Well, we've basically done a full show that was supposed to be a half show. That's okay. When we're doing these shows 10 and 11 days apart and stuff now, like we have been doing, the shows are getting a little longer because of that, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
Because I know people are listening. So, but that's gonna wrap it up tonight from the basement, and we'll be back. I've got a show in the can that I recorded with JR after the Redford show that'll be up next week, and then Dave and I will be back the week after that.
Yeah.
And there's a brand new Todd Files that's also in the can, which I got to interview my first actual doctor, my first PhD in literature and film. It was an absolutely awesome interview, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed the last Todd Files episode I did with Paul Gorey and Kevin Cuff, and that one's been breaking records as far as listenership. So thank you to those guys for coming on, and thank you to those guys for sharing the living shit out of it. And I can't wait to post the Greg Wright episode, and I think you guys will really enjoy that one too. But that's going to wrap it up from this week from the Basement of Doom. Until next time, I'm Todd.
I'm Dave.
And until next time, the basement door is closed.
Later, bitches.
You've been listening to a Basement of Doom production. To find out more about Basement of Doom Productions and all of its family of shows, please check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/basementfodder and on Twitter @basementfodder.